President Trump has been criticised for saying diversity and inclusion policies may have been a cause of the fatal air crash in Washington, D.C. We're going to speak to our correspondent, Merlin Thomas, who's at Reagan National Airport. Reagan, before we get on to that point, I wonder if you could just clarify one thing for me. Obviously, investigations have begun, but we're talking civilian and military here. Will that investigation for both come under the NTSB? Do we know?
It still remains to be seen which official bodies will be issuing those reports, but we do know the NTSB will issue a preliminary report in 30 days. But that is still a long way to go for many of those who are seeking answers to this fatal crash and this tragedy that has taken place. For now, the recovery operation has been paused because the conditions have been deemed too difficult to work in. And just to remind you, it is incredibly cold here, and I'm looking out at the icy Black River of the Potomac, and it is freezing conditions there too. And we've heard of some of the difficult conditions that the divers have been working in. We heard from the president of the Firefighters Association here in DC, who talked about some of the really graphic scenes that his divers have been contending with during their recovery efforts. And he even described his divers, their wetsuits being cut on the debris of the wreckage of the crash in the river. And that's just a reminder that there is still a lot of the wreckage left, and that is something that the recovery operation and the divers will look to be working on and work through to salvage some of the aircraft in order to retrieve those who are still missing.
A very delicate operation because obviously you're in a river, moving water. You don't want to lose those bodies. Let's turn to comments made by President Trump. What exactly has he said, and why is there outrage in a matter of hours since this incident?
So President Donald Trump has appeared to link diversity hires in the aviation sector with the cause of this fatal crash. And he didn't provide any evidence as to why this was the case. And he was pressed on it several times at a press conference. And when reporters asked him, the only thing he could come up with is that it was common sense. That's what he said. And this is something that he has been keen to focus on in his first week of the administration. He has already said he would cut federal funding to diversity programs amongst federal workers. And so this is really something that is part of his repertoire, something that he is keen to focus on and say that he is waging the war on woke. That is something that he has repeated time and time again. And so this is something that he brought up in the press conference regarding this particular fatal crash. And it's been met with fierce criticism. So former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg called his comments despicable, and U.S. House Senate leader Chuck Schumer called his comments idle speculation. And we've heard of some more subtle criticism from the governor of Kansas, who said that actually in the first day or so in the aftermath of this tragedy, the focus should really be on the victims and the families of those loved ones who were involved in this tragedy, rather than any speculation as to what has happened and any of these speculations. It should really be, the focus should be the families.
Just very quickly then, Merlin, from speculation to fact, there has also been reports of near misses, other near misses around that particular airport. Can you add to that in any way?
There's a lot of caution being held around this airport. Of course, once such a tragedy has happened, people are looking quickly to see what can be done to prevent such a thing happening again. And so they are looking to the safety practices around the aviation sector. The US is upheld as a place where the aviation sector safety standards are incredibly good, but they are looking to ask how this has happened. And, this area around DC is incredibly congested. The airspace involves both commercial airlines and military airlines as well, and that is a normal and common sight to see. But we are still asking, and the investigators will continue in their efforts to find out the answers to what exactly happened in this fatal crash.
Merlin Thomas, for now, thank you very much. Thank you.